shoot. Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Bit of a weird situation today with the weather, so plan A, plan B and C got cancelled, so I'm now on plan D, which is something that I have been mulling around for quite some time, and it's just something that I've touched on in, I'd say, quite a few pieces of content with different things that I've shown, some things I might not have shown, but it's something I wanted to pull together into something that's more about EDC Essentials. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to own one of these. I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around how the best way to put this is. But I think, you know, if you're a car guys, or you're not a car guy until you've owned one of these, or if you're into a watch, then, what? Seriously, you've never had a Casio G-Shock? It's that kind of thing that I think that these are all great examples of things that, whether you're either starting off in EDC or you've been doing EDC related stuff for years, I think these are all great examples of things that you should definitely have owned or may still have in your collection, just so that you can go, yeah, I've owned one of those. I think they're a great thing. Now, I'm definitely going to get to the end of this video, and at the end of the video I'm going to say, right, let's add to this, because I think that this piece of content around essentials that people are like, whoa, seriously, you didn't mention this, and this. I think this has got legs, and I think it would be a good thing for us all to share and leave in the comments below. So, and I have got an official list now that I'm trying to record these sort of things. So let's get into EDC Essentials, or EDC Basics, EDC Staples. Staple a good word? I don't know, but okay. Well, actually, I'm not going to turn the camera around on this one. Usually I'd say let's turn the camera around. The first one that I have here is this small Olight flashlight. This is the i3T. It is a 180 lumen flashlight, and it's super simple. So you have your tail cap on, off, and then there is a second function for it. When it first comes on, and I think it's about 5 lumens. If you turn it off and turn it back on again, that's when you get you get the higher 180. These, and I think it's something, I'm trying not to say it over and over and over again, but a lot of the things that we'll look at today are reasonably inexpensive. Now, I hate to use the term inexpensive purely because one person's expensive is another person's, you know, not expensive. So a lot of the things that we'll look at are kind of around that 20 to 30 pounds mark, unless I'm wrong. I don't think there's anything that's above that, but this I think is such a good EDC flashlight. It fits in your pocket incredibly easy. It runs on AAA batteries, sorry, and it's just really simple and easy to use, which is why I think if you're into flashlights and you've not owned one of these, I think it's one of those staples that everybody should try. Now, what I've got is I've got the rest of them around my body. The next one is the Clipper lighter. Now, there are lots of other lighters out there. Some people rely on the Zippo, some people say no, I prefer these electric style ones. But I think the Clipper lighter is such a great lighter, and that's why for me, you know, I see it as an essential. You can refill them, they're reasonably inexpensive, so if you do lose it, you know, you can buy another. A lot of the times I think you can buy these in packs of 3 or 4, which make them great, because if one runs out and you're not going to fill it, then you could throw it away. But I think as we're thinking more about sustainability and that sort of stuff, being able to refill them is brilliant. When the flints go on them, you know, you can remove the flint from it and you can change those. These are both metal versions, stainless steel, and this is a black coated one. They're just great to have. Being able to have a lighter at hand for little situations, I certainly think is incredibly useful. The next one on my list is, okay, if you're getting into knives, you really can't look past or ignore the fact that OpenL make absolutely great knives. Now, I'm going to open these out now. Without actually getting into specifics on the lengths, these knives officially, I think if you look on the OpenL website, well, I don't know because I've not checked today, but there are hundreds of different versions of these. As far as length is concerned, I think they range from like a 3 centimeter all the way up to a, well, quite long ones. So depending on what size knife you want to carry in your pocket, there is an OpenL knife for you. Now these are manufactured, they're made and manufactured in France, and they're very simple. There'll be 2 knives that we'll look at today, but I think I'd be right in saying, as far as knives is concerned, these are a very down-to-earth kind of knife. They're very simple. They're designed. Originally, they were knock knives were designed for farmers to be able to use, but you have a really simple wooden handle, and then a locking twist at the top. So as this twists around, it stops the knife from falling back down. And then when you want to close it, you do that. Close it again. These are great, and again, they're very inexpensive. So depending on what sort of knife or length that you want to carry, then you can pick these up from say £7 or £8 all the way up to about £15. Unfortunately, because of the locking nature of them, when it opens, you can't carry these in public here in the UK. However, you know, they're perfectly legal to own and to use here in the UK as long as you're keeping them in the house. Now, I think a good point to jump from there would be one of my all-time favourite knives, and that is the Svord Peasant. I think, well, actually this is the Svord Peasant Mini. They do come in 2 versions. There's the Svord Peasant, which is a slightly larger version of this. It's just that extra little bit longer, so you'll find that when it's in the pocket, with the extended tang, you just feel it a little bit more when it's in there. Whereas these 2 shorter versions, or the mini versions, they're actually perfect. 1 for UK carry and 2 for EDC. They come in a variety of different colours. Now you might notice that there is a different finish to this. The steel on this, these are a Sandvik, I can't remember, I'll put it in here, but they're a Sandvik steel. And they do react quite well to gun bluing, so I decided with this one, you know, that I wanted to blue it so that it had that nice black look to it. Whereas this one, I tried a coffee soak on it. It didn't work too well, but you know, it's great. There's probably a dozen different colours, and it all comes from from the plastic handle. But these, again, you can pick these up for £15, I think they are. It is a friction folder. It is within the UK guidelines as far as a legal carry. Very easy to hold, and they're great beaters, purely because if you do need to replace it, you can replace it. The steel on them is reasonably easy to resharpen. Plus, it's also, it's a Sandvik steel. It's very good at keeping its sharpness. Next on this, I feel that this is a little bit of a cheat, mainly because we've just looked at the i3T, but now we have the i5T, which is the bigger brother of the i3T. But essentially, it works exactly the same. So you have the button on the tail cap. There's an on, there's an off. If you turn it on and off again within a few seconds, then it bumps it up. I think on the lowest it's 10 lumens, and on the highest it's 300 lumens. It takes a AA battery, and that's really the main difference. Other than the lumens, it's the fact that it takes a AA battery, where this is a AAA battery. And these, again, they're just super useful to be able to maybe have a few of these. One in a pack, one on your person, one maybe in your car. I don't know. They're just very easy and very simple to have around. And plus, because they're using AA or AAA batteries, you can pick a AA or a AAA battery up from anywhere, can't you? It's not as though you need to find a charging port or something to plug this in. if you need to get a battery and you're out in the middle of wherever, if you can find somewhere that you can buy batteries from, and guaranteed they'll have AA batteries. These are also really good for walking the dog, just general EDC stuff around the house. If you've lost your keys or lost anything, these are great to use. The next one, I'm kind of doing this in a bit of a random order because I've forgotten the order of the pockets that I put them in. This again, I think if you like, or you're thinking of starting to get into pocket organisation, and you do like organisation specifically that you find from pouches, the Maxpedition Pocket Pouch Micro is great for that. It comes in, I think here in the UK they're about £18. I'm sure around the rest of the world, whatever the equivalent of that is, to pick one of these up in your country, they're not going to be too different. There is a small little netted pouch here on the front, which is great just for putting stuff in. YKK zippers, if I remember rightly, it's an 800D nylon, and then on the inside, on this side you have two double sections, and then on this side there is a triple section that you can put smaller things into, and then behind each of these elastic loops there is another large slip section that you can put stuff into. I've only really got into pocket organisation over the last, probably this year actually. I never really understood it before, you know, you put it in your pocket, it's there, why would you need some sort of organisation? But just having things rattling around in there and being able to grab something, there are different types. Some are more like a slip so that you can take it straight out to, whereas with these you put it into there and it's all there if you need it. And I think the whole theme of this is that kind of thing that, you know, the kind of staples, and I think you'll find with a lot of people, and please feel free to comment in here, that a lot of people have these and have built off from these. It's a great place to start, and then someone will go, actually I had one of those but I've realised that I like the leather versions, or I had one of those, I tried the leather version and then went back to this because I realised that this was a great founding position, but then I tried the Vanquest version, then I tried the X version, and so the Maxpedition Pocket Organiser Micro is a very good starting point, and it's one that a lot of people go to then build on other things. Now struggling. Where's the next one? No. Okay, the next one. Now this isn't really a thing to, well actually it is a thing to purchase. So I think a great thing to have is some sort of fiddle. I don't even know what to call it. A thing. I choose to carry coins. I also carry dice, but coins are very useful. I know I don't come from a background, but I know a lot of people in EDC come from a military background. So coins, things like challenge coins, are carried a lot by the military. I'm a massive comic geek, so having someone like Two-Face always carrying a coin to be able to decide whether to do something or not to do something, I've always liked that. I like the whimsical nature of, yeah sweet, let's have another pint before I go home, or no, okay, coin says no, yeah I really should be getting home. Silly little things like that. So there are some great coins out there. I definitely recommend checking out Carpe Diem coins. This is the Carpe Diem coin. There are a few different versions. There's the Carpe Diem, the Carpe Noctem. This is the Viking version of that. But one of the best places to pick up unique coins is somewhere like eBay. So get on eBay, type in something like Czechoslovakia. So Czechoslovakia's not been around for a long time now, has it? It's split into the two nations. But those old Soviet era kind of coins are really nice. Look for Cold War era Russian coins. Some of the work that they put on those coins is absolutely amazing, but they're just great to be able to have something that's, you know, and you fiddle with it, you mess with it, it's in your pocket, you make little decisions with it. Having a coin, and then, I know, after that someone might think, oh yeah, I had a coin, oh that's quite good, and then I moved on to dice, or I had some dice and went back to a coin, or had one of those little spinner thingamajiggies. They're great as well. So yeah, it's good to be able to have these, and again, it's something that you can build on. Now the last thing, and I think it is the last thing, I'm just checking my pockets quickly. The last thing is, it's actually, so one, it was the first one that I ever had. Two, as far as here on YouTube, it was actually one, I think it still is the most popular video that I have. And that is a Swiss Army knife. If you're thinking about starting EDC, you really can't go wrong with your Victorinox Swiss Army knives. This is the Alox version, so you generally have the two versions. You have the cherry red ones that, you know, everybody knows about, but then you also have the Alox versions. The Alox versions have an aluminium oxide scale to them instead, and you'll generally find, and quote me if I'm wrong, but all of the Alox versions, all of the tools only open on one side. They're not both sides that you'll find with the regular versions. Now this is the Pioneer. Personally, I think the Pioneer is the perfect Swiss Army knife. There's what you have on here. Okay, so you have a knife, which again is perfectly legal for you to carry here in the UK. There is an awl, which actually, I mean, I don't use that much, but does come in handy. On the opposite end, you then have a screwdriver and a bottle opener, and then you also have a flathead screwdriver and a can opener as well. There is also on here, there is a wire stripper, but you have to do some kind of gymnastics to put your wire through here and then be able to close that so that you can strip a wire. But as far as Swiss Army knives, as far as Victorinox knives go, for me, I think the Pioneer is that essential one, or the staple, because the main reason that I mentioned the Pioneer for me is it's the foundation for a lot of other knives that are similar to this. The Farmer, well, it's the Pioneer, but it's the Pioneer with a sword. Sword? Saw. There's the Electrician, which, you know, it's the Pioneer, but they removed one of the tools and put an extra little, an extra smaller knife on there. The Pruner, well, it's the same as a Pioneer, but they took one of the tools off and they put a hook bill knife on there instead. There's a reason why a lot of that is kind of uses the Pioneer as a foundation, because it's a great knife. The Pioneer actually is modelled on the original Swiss Army knife that was given out to the troops, which was the Soldier. The only main difference is the little lanyard bit on the end there. So I feel like I've come to a strange end there, because I think what I want to say at the end of this is that when you get into EDC, I think there's just a few things that, if you've seen any of the things that you've had that there are here today that you thought, yeah, I had one of those, that is a great knife, or yeah, you know, I had one of those, that was a really good pouch, and I built on from that, and that's where I got to this, that and the other. I think a lot of the things that we've looked at today hopefully have been that bedrock, or that foundation that I think a lot of people have either started on, or maybe have, you know, started higher but then come back and thought, oh, I need to get one of those. You know, I've heard good things about them, and you've got them and you've used it, and you're like, well, yeah, why haven't I had one of these for all of this time? But this is, so I mentioned this at the beginning, this is exactly where I'm now going to ask you guys, because I want to build on this. I you know, I'm not unless Mrs. Moorlander asks, of course I'm perfect. You know, I'm not perfect, and I don't know everything about all of the different things, and that's where I certainly love to learn, and this is where you guys come in. So let's hear in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think is that essential item, or staple item, or that EDC basic that I've missed today. And then what I'll do is I'll try and see if I can make some more content on this a little bit more regularly, so that we can share a little bit more about what are those essential items that really we should all be trying out, because they're great items. Today's didn't necessarily have a theme other than, you know, the kind of basics, but I did try and keep it so that it was around that 20 to 30 pounds mark, or I suppose I guess it's very similar in the US or wherever really. I suppose 20 to 30 euros, 20 to 30 dollars. But maybe I could make some content that maybe was essentials on different tiers. Yeah, what do you think? But hey, I'll leave some links in the descriptions below. Some of these items I've actually reviewed before, so if you want to see some more detail about them, then I'll leave some links to those. I'll leave some links to my social media. There might be some affiliate links in there as well. If you choose to use those, that's a small kickback to my channel, which is great. It helps me to make more of this content. And yeah, like, subscribe, share, all of the usual stuff. But for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC.